Mrs. Henn. Today we're talking about woodwind instruments. The woodwind family is my favorite family because I'm a woodwind player. But there are three things that could designate you as a woodwind instrument. One, if you are made out of wood, or you used to be made out of wood, you might be a woodwind instrument. Another reason is maybe there's some wood on you somewhere. Another reason could be all of your fingers are busy when you're playing. You could be a woodwind instrument. So start by the recorder. You might not know the recorder is a woodwind instrument. It used to be made out of wood, first of all. Keep rolling. I'm going to shut this window because my son is making all kinds of noise outside. Okay, fingers are busy, so that means I'm a woodwind instrument. And this recorder used to be made out of wood, so that's two reasons. Pretty cool. So all instruments in the woodwind family have its own family. Like the recorder, there are recorders of all different sizes. There's one that's even smaller than this. Teeny tiny little thing. And they go all the way up to recorders that are so big they go up over your head. Some you have to sit on a stool to play. They're really big. The next woodwind instrument is the flute family. This is the flute. And this is another flute. This is called a piccolo. It's not called the baby flute. It's called a piccolo. And there are flutes, again, that are so big that they go around this way and come back. There is one flute that is so big it stands up on the floor and it's shaped like a 4 and you play it. It's huge. So the flute is in the woodwind family because all of my fingers are busy. It's not made out of wood. It didn't used to be made out of wood. There's no wood on here, I promise. But because all of my fingers are busy, it's a woodwind instrument. Next is the clarinet. This one. The clarinet is called a single reed instrument, which means there is one piece of cane, it's wood basically, but it's cane. There's just one piece and it slides onto this thing. It's just called a mouthpiece. And that's how you play the instrument. Now there is another instrument that looks a lot like the clarinet. I don't have one here. It looks like the clarinet, but it's skinnier. And instead of having a mouthpiece on the end, it just has a reed. But it's special. It's called a double reed. It's like two pieces of cane stuck together and they tie it. And then they put it right in the top. That's called an oboe. I don't have an oboe to show you, but I will send you a link of some double reed instruments to show you. There's the oboe, and then there's its big sister. That's called the English horn. And then there's another one. It's called the bassoon. The bassoon was popular in the Mickey Mouse thing where he's carrying the buckets. Dun, 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 dun. That's the bassoon. I'll send you a link to those because I don't have them. Then my favorite woodwinds of all, the saxophones. The saxophones look a lot like a brass instrument. And actually some people call them brass instruments. I was watching Jeopardy and they called it a brass instrument. Hello, that's like supposed to be the smartest show in the universe and they said it was a brass instrument. It's a woodwind. Why is it a woodwind? There's no wood on it. It didn't used to be made out of wood. But I do have a mouthpiece. And on that mouthpiece would be a reed, a piece of cane. So that's one reason that it's a woodwind instrument. The second reason is because when I play it, all of my fingers are busy. And just like the other woodwinds, the saxophone has a family all to itself where there's lots of different sizes of saxophones. This is another one of my saxophones. It's called soprano sax. It's the little one to this one. So there's this one. There's one even smaller called the sopranino. And then there's this one. This is the alto. This is the one that most people play. And then there's one bigger than this. It's called the tenor. And there's one bigger than that. It's called the baritone. And there's one bigger than that, which is very rare. It's called the bass. So woodwind instruments have families. I only have one clarinet here, but there's a E flat clarinet that's smaller than this, and then there's an alto clarinet, and then there's a bass clarinet, and then there's a contrabass clarinet, which is so big you have to sit on a stool to play it. They're huge. Flutes, all different sizes. Recorders, all different sizes. Saxophones, all different sizes. Woodwind instruments have all different sizes. And there's 3 reasons that could classify something to be a woodwind instrument. Maybe all of your fingers are busy. Maybe there's a piece of wood on you somewhere, or you used to be made out of wood a long time ago. These are the woodwinds. They are my favorites. I highly suggest that you look up some videos on woodwinds, but I will include a video for those double reeds that I don't have. They kind of sound like ducks. Just my opinion. All right, take note of this because I might be asking you about these when we get back to seeing each other again. Until then, take care of each other and wash your hands.